Hey guys, this is Jacolia of Jacolia Gems. Welcome back home, family. For those of you that happen to be new here, I definitely hope that you hear something today that can persuade you to stay. And above all, come on, y'all, chime in. You should already know what I'm about to say. I hope that you can kick up your shoes and relax your feet, Sankofa. Come back home, family. Do me a favor, hit that like and comment down below. This is going to be a brief video, something that I have not done. I am back writing, y'all, and I want to announce. I announced it, just a little bit on my Facebook page that June 29th in the city of Chicago, I am launching the Chic Eats Network. The Chic, CHIC Eats, EATS Network. And umbrellaed under this network will be my youth organization that I am relaunching, my WAR, which is an acronym, youth organization. And WAR stands for Willing and Ready Warriors Applying Rhema. And so with the youth organization, when I was still in the Apostolic Pentecostal Church, my parents were the coverings, and this was a para-ministry outside of the church, yet covered by my parents. And what I would do is put together services for young ministers to develop training. I would use young altar workers, ordained elders. We had our own youth team, our own band. I would bring in young preachers and ministers to minister the word, and we would have services, and they would be amazing. It was something for the youth in the city of Chicago to do, and I did that for a few years. The praise team was immaculate. The band was tight. The Ruach HaKodesh would be in those services, and some breaking forth definitely happened with that. And I put it on hold because, I have not been in the Apostolic Church in 6 years. And throughout that time, I have not been in position to minister. Also, there is some knowledge that I need to know. I can't just come in the Israelite community and still gaining knowledge and different things, because everything that I do is ministry based for me. It's just going to always have to be, because that's how I filter myself. Anybody that knows me personally know, T may not have it all wrapped together. Clearly, she has children without being married under the Roman concepts. Although my daughter, was born out of the first relationship I ever knew. And my son, I was engaged. So, y'all take that how you want to take it. Still out of, wasn't supposed to be doing certain things certain ways. So with all of my flaws and all of those things, the one thing that I can be thankful for is that even in the presence of my supposed enemies, literally, someone had passed away, and I was in a house that I knew was not favorable for me, in a room of people that I know do not like me. There's an amount of respect that certain people give to me, and the reverencing of the Ruach HaKodesh on my life that is not because of me. And in this instant, when they were about to say a prayer, everybody in the room turned and said to me, Manuel, I'm sitting at the table and I'm eating by myself, because this is what I tend to do. I can be in a room full of people and I will sit and be by myself. Everybody in the room turned and referred to me and said, Tierra, you have to be the one to lead us in prayer. And I'm saying that to say that when we have to remember that gifts and callings come without repentance. So you could lay hands, you could heal the sick, you could do all of these other things. And that does not mean that you were unctioned and sent by the Ruach HaKodesh. We have to know that sorcerers, riches, and everything else can perform miracles as well. these are points. These are facts. These are things that cannot be denied. So when I am launching the network on June 29th, for me, it is going to be multi-layered. The network launch will consist of 1 to 2 performers. I'm having a professional, skilled, trained choreographer dancer. It's going to be catered. I'm creating the menu and I'm going to do some of the cooking, but the caterer, she and I are collaborating and she's going to do the majority of the cooking. We are going to have licensed food handlers. Harvest Essence is going to relaunch on at this network, because I know I made an announcement a while ago. I was like, I'm relaunch Harvest Essence. Not so. Things have to be on a hold so that I can do things in the way that they truly needs to be done. So Harvest Essence, my herbal business, will be relaunching. I have my Bassett license, my liquor license. I am currently enrolled in a botanical mixed drink recipe class that I'll be finishing up in August, and I'll be enrolling, well, I'm already enrolled to the next class is for cooking with cannabis, and the class after that is herbalism for ADHD and neurodivergency. I do not say everything that I am doing on the internet or make announcements a lot. Just know that a lot of footwork is being done behind the scenes in the city of Chicago. This will be a ticketed event. All of the tickets will have different prices, and it will be made very clear what is covered in what. As I forestated, your drink, your dinner, this is 5 course. Good food, y'all. Muy, 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 muy. Very good food, okay? It's called muy bien. It's perfecto. Because I'm letting y'all know, when I get in my bag, that's just going to be what it is. And my sister, who was cooking with and for partnering, she gets in her bag as well. These mixed drinks are going to be immaculate. And some of them will be herbal. It's going to be an array. The theme is the Garden of Eden. This is a formal event. So this is a chance for business owners, clergy, talent around Chicago. This is going to be invite only. And if you are watching this video and you are not reached out to, it is not because I think of any less than you. It is because you do not have a business that I know about. It is because in times past you have been called up on and you did not answer. It is because I don't know if you want to come and support. So do not take it personal. Look at this as your chance to say, hey, T, let me get a ticket. Hey, T, my business would like to be a part of this. Why? Because the proceeds, the tickets, clearly it's going to have to cover the cost of everything that I just said, which is why the tickets will cost what they cost, because the proceeds of the ticket, even though the event is going to be paid for cash money before y'all pay y'all ticket, just letting y'all know that the proceeds of the tickets will go to sponsoring the homeless population at a school on the west side of Chicago. And it is very important that I am able to do so and to collect funds before September. Back to school drives. We need to be aware that the homeless population in Chicago public schools is large. The book, yes, y'all, and this is what I'm about to say in a little bit, which is outside of my comfort zone. I am also writing a book, and a workbook will be coming with it. This book is going to be written on a doctorate level. This book will have a lot of sources. This book will have a lot of scriptures. This book is going to talk about the misdiagnoses of childhood trauma for mood disorders, of neurodivergency for mood disorders. This book is going to talk about the trauma that we experience spiritually, mentally, emotionally, the slave trades, the migrations, immigration patterns. This book is going to be historically heavy. This book is going to go into some language markers. Y'all, this book is going to literally take my life, and it's going to be about me, but it's really not going to be about me. It's going to be some juicy stuff in here. I know it's some stuff that some of y'all been sitting back gossiping about, wondering about. I'm going to talk. This book is for educational purposes only. I'm going to also take this book to create a series of workbooks so that I can work on changing the curriculum in Chicago public schools and getting some curriculum to these homeschool and charter schools about Black history. And the source material will be immaculate. They don't know this yet, and they may say no. I am reaching out to Moray Zion Lex. I am reaching out to Moray Divine Prospect. I am reaching out to Moray Lenny. All three of these men I look to as scholars, not just biblical scholars, but people who are smart in school. So the scholarship of the Bible becomes like the revelation that the Most High is able to sit down on the inside of them due to the knowledge that they have already ascertained. I'm going to ask them for peer reviews. I'm going to ask my therapist for a peer review. I am going to ask my doctor for a peer review. I am going to be reaching out to some therapists that I went to school with for peer reviews. This is how important this book is. This is how we coming with this. And I'm just letting y'all know that in advance. This event is going to be immaculate. Come dressed. Y'all know how I am. I'm going to take this not only to launch this, but I'm going to be doing pop-up underground dinner events around the city of Chicago. We'll branch off with the women, y'all, and we're going to have some little classes and, do some fun educational things for women that are exclusive. We are going to do some things to circulate the Black dollar and to network amongst one another. It's coming on June 29th, the Chic Eats Network. So with that being said, I'm not even sure fully about the title yet. I'm thinking, and I think I'll better know when I'm finished and complete with the book. So the first part is going to obviously be From Victim to Victors Part 2. And I'm not sure if it's going to be the trauma of intelligence, if it's going to be pretty girl syndrome, or if it's going to be the Eve effect. So I still have some of that to figure out. I'm about to read to you guys what I have for the introduction thus far, and it may change. This is me. This is y'all. I don't do this. I don't do this. Okay. In writing From Victors to Victors, I found much healing for that season. I was 3 years free of cervical cancer, turning 30, and on my way to Jamaica with my children. During this time, I was very ill. Crohn's disease symptoms overtook my body. I was retaining water, and an allergic reaction to iodine shut off my airway. Due to a fall on a sheet of ice, my fibromyalgia symptoms increased. I also incurred a fractured tailbone, 5 herniated discs, sciatica, bursitis, and severe nerve damage. Between physical therapy and attempts of steroid shots, chronic pain became second nature. This was the 4th year in a row I felt like I was in a struggle with death, as Jacob with the Molech. Much like Jacob, I could feel in the physical what was taking place in my mind's eye. I vacillated between begging for a name change and feeling unworthy of being heard. Shortly after my grandfather passed away, depression became my garment. Being on 4 medication 3 times a day altered me in ways only my children know in depth. I remember the first night I became immobilized and had to crawl to the bathroom. Being awake for 36 hours became my new norm. I gained 75 pounds. My doctors wanted me to have spinal surgery, and injuries rendered me unable to work for years. My circumstances placed me in a birthing position. As a mother, my house could not go without. I created businesses to sustain the natural and fell deeper into my studies to fuel my spirit. The 7-year hiatus has me at my most base self. Stripping away of impurities is a strategic process. The sterilization of the environment, utensils, hands, and proper garments are essential. Ensuring the temperature is specific to the object of contamination is imperative as not to cause further damage. A place for the refined material to be housed after the furnace is Goshen. In history, Goshen, the Pale, or the ghetto are where the Jews lived. Autonomy in a world of disorders implements systematic revival. Viewing oneself as a variable in an equation will assist in the season of isolation. It is necessary to solve the problem. The Jews of Babylonian captivity lived autonomously spiritually by not subjugating themselves to the will of their oppressors. Not being easily pliable for idolatry qualified them to the Alchemaic Academy of Pure Gold. Unearthing the cause and effect of who I am today will shed light on the misdiagnoses in the Black community. It is my endeavor to use scientific, biblical, and cultural knowledge to ascertain strategy to eliminate repeated trauma. I am dissecting myself on the table prepared before me to strategically and surgically, examine the inward parts of the Eve effect. Y'all, that girl could write. Ooh, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I enjoy reading that. I enjoy reading that. Like, if that weren't my book, I would enjoy reading that. Some people are great orators. Some people are great writers. Then you have other people whom are both. Because there are some people that write books that aren't good writers. And this isn't me bragging. I worked hard to be a good writer. I ain't gonna lie. It came naturally to me. But I worked hard because I read and I read a lot. And I studied language. I used to be, and I'm thankful to the Most High that He's restoring my Spanish to me. And I'm learning Hebrew. And I'm relearning reading music. See, trauma takes a lot away. And I'm going to talk about this in a book. And that's why I'm sharing some now. When I was younger, in the fifth grade through my sophomore year of college, I fluently spoke Spanish. I wrote in Spanish, grammatically correct Spaniard Spanish. My first Spanish teacher at the age of 10 was a Colombian, and he also taught me how to do the samba and the flamingo. My Spanish teacher after that was from Spain. And she told me, she said, you speak textbook Spanish. It's immaculate. It's perfect. It's like from back home. And my boyfriend in high school, he's Black and Puerto Rican. So he was nigga and negra and negro. Okay. He's Black and Puerto Rican. And when his grandmother heard us talking one day in Spanish, she came in the room and she started talking to me in Spanish, and I replied. And he was like, you just messed up. And he was like, I ain't gonna lie. Because when I first met her, I didn't know if she could speak English because she spoke to me in Spanish. And I just, naturally replied in Spanish. And he was like, I ain't gonna lie. I told my grandma not to talk to you in English because you could speak Spanish. and she's more comfortable speaking speaking Spanish. So I'm just letting you know that's the only language my grandmother is ever going to talk to you in. So before I ever met his grandmother, and it's because him and I would communicate by letters in Spanish. So if the English speaking teachers, if they took our letters, they wouldn't know what they said because they were in Spanish. I spoke Spanish to the point where, y'all see what I look like, right? The neighborhood, my parents bought a house, and it was a Hispanic neighborhood in Chicago. And because of how my mom appears Creole, because she is Creole, Choctaw Native American woman. And my dad, you can look at him and tell that he's Caribbean. He's West Indian. And so people would speak Spanish to us, specifically to me. And I'm not thinking that it's because they think that I'm Afro-Hispanic. Like, it's not clicking because, my processing is off, y'all. My processing is delayed, and we're going to talk about that. So it wasn't clicking. And I'm just walking around speaking Spanish. I lost a lot of it. And I don't even know if I more so lost it because my son, he went to a school for a few years when the curriculum was 80% Spanish, and he was the only native English speaker, and he was the top in his class. My daughter, she was bilingual. Like, I grew up when I was reading music, classically trained music reader. So I'm reading music, which is another language, but I'm reading music in Arabic and in Russian and in Spanish and in these different languages. Some of us weren't behind brick and mortar school, ascertaining our degrees due to illness and due to trauma and due to health issues. I just want you guys to know that, baby, the Most High has blessed me with a wealth of intellectual knowledge, and it is my endeavor that while I still have breath in my body for however long he decides that I am able to do my mission, which is to reorientate the Black community back to their power. If I could bring people into the Christian church and into Pentecostalism and things of that nature, surely I can reorientate them to the power that they say that they serve by sharing of my life and breaking down the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding through the academic and scientific, historical process, linguistic process of who we are. So I might have popped myself on this video, but it's honestly just to let y'all know that when I write this book, that this is literally the Most High's doing. And this will be what it is. And if you want to come and see what the network is about, if you don't live in Chicago and you want to fly out for it, let me know. Baby, I could get you a whole itinerary set up, okay? Because who know how to have fun? Because who know what a nice stuff at? Because who know how to get the good drinks and the good eats and know where everything be? I do, okay? If you want to just sponsor a ticket, these are going to be released slowly but surely because they got to be done the right way. Doing a lot of behind the scenes work. If you want to sponsor a ticket and you can't come to the event, 100% of your ticket will go to the children. Everybody that buys a ticket, you will receive a receipt because we have an EIN number. I file taxes for my businesses every year. The Most High has blessed me for every business that I have ever started. And whether I stopped or not, all ended in the green. And this year will be the first year and the continuous year. I took last year off for my mental health sake, not because I was giving up on Harvest Essence. And because I wanted to be more educated. I don't want to just be out here selling herbs to sell herbs based off of, no, let's learn about them. Let's learn about the botany. So I'm back in school, y'all, for a handful of things. And I work over 50, 60 hours a week. I honestly work about 60, 70 hours a week. I ain't even gonna lie. So If there's a gap in my videos, this is why. I am working and I want to be more consistent. I'm going to be more consistent on YouTube. And y'all gonna be, oh my God, with what I got coming for YouTube. I'm working, y'all. I love y'all and I appreciate it. Shabbat Shalom, Israel.